You're listening to the Incomparables Total Party Kill podcast, in which a group of friends play Dungeons & Dragons on the internet for your amusement. This is episode number 431, recorded April 2022, posted January 2024. Disco Centipedes.
Welcome back to Total Party Kill. It's me, Tony Sindelar, he, him, Dungeon Master, running some Dungeons and Dragons. It's kind of what we do, slash fate I cannot escape. I have signed a deal with a horrible monster, and that horrible monster is here today. But wait, let's introduce some other people. Not first, let's introduce the horrible monster first, now that I've reviewed the initiative order. Dan Morin, why did I sign that contract?
You did not read the fine print, Tony.
Correct!
I advised you, as your lawyer, not to read the fine print. And then I made you sign a contract. Highly unethical, I must say. Wow.
So, Dan Morin, would you like to explain who your character is? I'm introducing characters or players in initiative order.
I am playing Cueris, the bard, known up and down the Sword Coast, with his new pals here. And he is a he, him. I am a he, him, and he's first in initiative order, so good for him.
Yeah, I prefer to think of you as known in the greater White Sparrow Tri-County area.
Tony, I just want to point out that I'd forgotten, because I had not played this character in a while, that his background is
folk hero?
Pirate.
Oh, pirate!
A feature of which is bad reputation. No matter where you go, people are afraid of you.
That is not a good background for a bard.
Oops, daisies.
He went back to school and he's trying to better himself, but his old reputation sticks with him sometimes. So
interesting background to have chosen for the White Sparrow adventures, a extremely landlocked set of adventures.
Decisions were made.
Decisions were made. Next up in initiative order, but first in our hearts, it's Kathy Campbell. Hi, Kathy.
Oh, yay! I'm Kathy Campbell, she, her, and I am playing Hermione, a centaur fighter who is holding up the rear and ready to whip things into shape.
Excellent.
Whoa. I wish Steve Lutz were here.
We all have the little Steve Lutz in our head.
Yep.
I think if you take the right medication, that goes away. Also joining us...
rename Little Anthony, Little Steve?
No, thank you. Also joining us, you can tell that this is not the first session of the day. It is Jason Snell.
Hello, I am playing Nis, who is she is a female lizard folk sorcerer, level 4. She likes to spread the good word about her sorcery school that she's trying to sell people on. And she's very charismatic, which she needs to be because, again, lizard folk.
Next up, Micah Sargent.
Yes, Micah Sargent, he, him, and I am playing Ajguri Lone Walker Mako Tatahani, known as Lone Walker. He is a Goliath paladin. As I said, he, him. He is a Goliath paladin.
Also here, I guess, Tiff, you control multiple characters, so I'm just going with the first one in the initiative order. It's Tiff Arment.
Hi, this is, wait, you threw me off because Lil Anthony's going before me, so.
But you are Little Anthony.
Do the intro as Lil Anthony, come on.
Is Little Anthony vocal? I don't know if Little Anthony speaks common. Also joining us, Team Giant Centipede. That's right. Our adventurers are being attacked on a mountain pass by centipedes. And at the bottom of the initiative order, it's Tiff Arment.
I am the shortest. I'm down here playing Polly Quartz, the rock gnome druid, who has pocketed himself 500 G's that no one knows about. Keep it on the low.
Yep. All right. So, as I mentioned, it seems like about a dozen giant scorpions are attacking you.
Centipedes.
I want to be
Centipedes.
Centipedes. Giant centipedes are attacking you. I want to be clear because the name, I think, is a little bit more frightening when they are giant by centipede standards.
Okay.
They are not giant by giant standards.
Oh, okay.
They are still a small beast. They're just much bigger than you would want a centipede to be, but they're not. I mean, I imagine they are smaller than a cat. They're just much bigger than you want a centipede to be.
So they're about the size of Little Anthony.
Yeah. It does not specify what it says. They are a small beast. which, I don't want my insects to come in beast size of any sizes.
No.
But yeah, and there are about a dozen of them. I have arranged them in packs. Do centipedes travel in packs? I've arranged them in clusters of 4, kind of converging on you from 3 directions. I will just tell you, obviously these things look much bigger than you ever want centipedes to be, but each individual centipede does not look particularly threatening by itself, but the number of them is worrisome. So almost all of you get to go before the centipedes go, and then Polly will go. Cueris, the bard, you are first.
Woohoo! I think I'm gonna start out by, let's see here. So are these centipedes like crawling over this rock to my right here?
Yeah.
Is that what's happening?
And they're probably... Okay. Let me adjust them. They're in your vicinity. They're not in melee range.
Okay, great. I will produce my bagpipes, clear my throat, and play a little song.
Dude, now's not the time. There's centipedes.
It's always time for a song.
You are making us look bad in front of the centipedes.
I will cast Fairy Fire. Each object in a 20-foot cube, which is basically, I think, just going to be this entire pack to my right here, is outlined in my choice of blue, green, or violet light. I'm choosing disco light circling through all 3 of them.
All right.
If it fails a dexterity throw, which it must make now.
All right. I'm going to roll 4 dexterity saves for them. Does this do damage to them or just make them easy to hit?
It makes them easy to hit.
I have rolled 4 d20. Each centipede has +2 to their initiative, so I've rolled 18, 8, 12, 19.
All right. Well, 2 of them are outlined in disco light.
I'm going to make them bright colors on the map for you. I hope you enjoy this.
They shed dim light in a 10-foot radius. Any attack roll against them has advantage if the attacker can see it, and the affected creature object can't benefit from being invisible. Okay. So basically, you got advantage to hit those 2 disco shining centipedes.
I'll put a little symbol on them too that represents disco.
The disco
it's not
symbol.
dead, people. It's coming back.
There's a limited icon set in Roll20. Roll20 developers, please add a disco icon.
We need a disco icon.
There's honestly about 7 more states that I would add before disco, but I'm not a
Disco is
developer.
clearly most important.
Yeah. Yes. Kueris, anything else?
I think I'm okay for the moment.
All right, Hermione, Nis, get ready.
I have a question about the terrain.
It's rocky.
Thank you. Would I be able to charge up the hill, or am I? I mean, clearly Hermione is extremely talented in all of the fancy acrobatic type things. But I'm unsure about how vertical.
It's a rocky slope, counted as difficult terrain for anything that's not path. So it takes an extra square of movement, basically. So
okay. Does that square of movement take? Basically, will I be able to? Let's see.
Your speed is effectively halved.
Oops. Yeah.
Okay.
So it take you like 10, 20, 30 to get to those guys if you wanted.
Okay. Cool. So I would like to charge the first one.
Okay. Yeah.
And we're going to go with my short sword first. 17.
17 will hit a centipede.
Fantastic.
Even a giant one.
Love it. 3 plus 4, 7 points of damage.
You basically chop that centipede into pieces.
Fantastic. So since I charged, I would also like to use my hooves as an immediate bonus action. For the next one.
Do you have any movement left to get to the next one, I guess?
I have 40 feet.
Okay, yeah. So you just keep going.
Okay.
You chop a centipede in half.
Chop.
And then trample the next one, basically?
Pretty much,
or
yeah.
Attempt to trample.
Attempt to, because I got 12.
12, the centipede kind of scurries out of the way on its innumerable feet. There's probably 100. Innumerable feet.
Okay, question about the bonus action magic thing, because I have the two-handed fighting. Am I also able to do whip since the bonus action was attached to the charge?
I think you can do as many bonuses. Their bonuses are bonus. No, Dan says no.
No,
One bonus.
One bonus
one
action
bonus.
per turn.
One bonus.
Okay.
One action,
Okay.
one bonus action if possible, and one move.
Okay.
So I am done.
All
Whose side are
right.
you on, Dan?
Side
The
of
laws,
justice.
Micah. You're a paladin. You should know this.
Micah,
I'm not a paladin.
Micah's not a paladin. Micah is a
Micah's paladin.
Micah is a chaotic awesome.
I am. I really
wizard.
am paladin. Oh boy.
Oh, Nis.
I believe, Tony, correct me if I'm wrong here, the technical phrase is zip-zop.
It is for magic missile.
So first magic missile is striking. I'm going to strike the two non-disco because they didn't get with the
Yep.
program.
And the fun thing
Centipedes.
about magic missile is you don't roll. It just, I mean, it's kind of not fun because you don't get to roll dice, which is 80% of Dungeons and
You
Dragons.
get to roll damage.
I get
But
to roll damage.
the satisfying part is you literally can't miss with magic missile, listeners. So it just happens. Centipedes get hit by magic missiles. So
Yeah, so first centipede takes 2 damage.
that centipede is badly hurt.
Second centipede takes 5 damage.
That centipede is dead.
And then I'm going to strike one of the centipedes to the north.
Mm-hmm.
And that centipede will take 4 damage.
That centipede is dead.
Yeah.
You
That's
may
Nis's
have a sense of how
turn.
many hit points centipedes have.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. All right, Lone Walker, your colleagues have dished out a variety of magic, dealing blows to all 3 of the centipede groups attacking you. Really spreading it around, people. It is your turn.
Yes. Lone Walker is going to take aim at the. I looked it up. There's no individual collective noun for centipedes. It's just swarm is the typical. So I'm going to target the swarm above Lone Walker with a light hammer. So you take the left value, which is 25. So I did roll a critical. Woohoo!
Yay!
25 to hit. And the damage for that
Is the right value the damage?
is no. That is the damage. 7 is the damage.
All right.
7 bludgeoning.
You smash a centipede into paste with your hammer. Is that your light hammer?
Yeah, basically it's a ranged weapon, so I throw it at the centipede.
Do you have to then go get it, or does it come back?
I will have to go get it afterward, but
All right.
I planned on doing that.
Just
afterward.
don't. Limited utility for, say, attacking dolphins. Don't attack dolphins, people. Do not throw hammers at dolphins. I don't know where you got that idea. Stop it.
And because I have proficiency in, or however that works, I know I've got 2 weapon dealy bob, and I could do that with any simple weapon. One of those, which is the light hammer.
You gonna throw another light hammer?
Yeah, I'm gonna throw another light hammer.
How many light hammers are you walking around with there?
I have 2, so I threw one, and then this is the other one.
All right. Lefty and right.
And exactly, yeah. So that's what they're called, actually. So I rolled 21 to hit, and now I will do the damage for that, which is just 1d4 because you don't get to add the proficiency. All right, 3 damage.
All right. A glancing blow badly wounds. Which centipede were you attacking?
We'll do the one that's behind the one I just killed.
All right. That one's badly hurt.
And that is all I can do.
Lil Antony.
All right. Little Antony can actually turn into a centipede.
What?
Yep. It's actually one of his beast forms.
Now there's more centipedes.
Yeah, you're not helping.
That's the opposite of what we want.
So little Antony turns into a centipede and he goes over to this group of centipedes and tries to lead them away with like a sexy centipede dance.
Roll.
What would this centipede dance look
Roll
like?
sexy centipede dance.
Yes.
What would I roll for that?
Persuasion? I put little...
Performance?
Yeah, or performance.
Performance. All right, let's see. Does he have any performance proficiencies? An 8. An 8.
The
But he
centipedes
has,
seem unimpressed.
oh.
Also,
Okay.
I have swapped his token out for a green centipede token. So,
So don't hit
Little
the little ant centipede.
Antipede. Oh
yeah,
my God,
but when
amazing.
centipede and antipede come together, they
Little
destroy
little
each other.
little antipede.
Yep. This is how
He's against feet.
this is how morphing characters works in Total Party
Yep.
Kill. I believe Micah established, and so I just have to execute on that forever.
It is true.
All right.
So that didn't work.
That did not work.
Okay. So they just kind of like glanced at him and was
Yeah.
just like,
We're working here.
not sexy enough.
The Team Giant Centipede is next. I'm going to say that these three over here are going to squeeze forward and basically try and just like launch themselves at Hermione's legs. I'm going to roll 3 bite attacks. Each of these is +4 to hit. I've rolled 13, 9, and 16.
Doesn't matter. Still doesn't hit.
None of them hit? All right.
Nope.
Nothing happens then. All right. On the other side of the battlefield, these centipedes kind of crawl down the rock and converge on Lone Walker. 2 more centipede bites coming your way. They are biting. These, just to be clear, though they have many arms, they are not using any melee weapons. I have rolled a 12 and a 19 versus Lone Walker.
A 12 and a 19.
Yeah.
That's kind of rude. Because the 19 hits.
You will take 4 piercing damage. A centipede finds like a gap in your armor around where your shin is, and it gets its horrible little pincers in there. And you need to make a Constitution saving throw against poison.
Constitution saving throw,
Yes,
you said?
11 or higher.
10.
No.
It burns. Your entire leg burns with agony. The centipede's bite was just like a little prick, but the 10 poison damage courses through your
Ow.
veins.
So
I remind you that you had 10 hit points, so don't forget to subtract those first.
Oh, yes. How many was it?
7.
You had
7.
7. Excellent. Okay. So what was the first bit of damage? Because that's the part that I did not remember.
It was
Before the
4
10.
followed by 10.
Okay, so 4 damage and then 10 damage. Okay. And am I poisoned or was it just poison?
You have just taken poison damage.
Okay.
Yes. Interesting things happen to you if you are knocked unconscious while this is in your blood. Just fun
become a
medical
centipede.
facts that I have. Yeah. All right. Over on the other side of the battlefield, 3 more centipedes scurry down the rocks in the directions of Cueris and Nis. 2 disco centipedes are going to attack Cueris. 22 and 23.
Those are both bad.
Can you do anything about that, Mr. Bard?
I can and run away. No, but that's not going to do much, I guess. So,
All right,
no.
you will take 8 piercing damage from the 2 bites combined, and I need 2 Constitution saving throws as poison goes through all of your blood.
2 Constitution
Well,
saving
1 for
throws.
each.
Constitution, one of my strong suits, +1.
It's better than negative.
Oh, well, that first one was an 19. So
All right, that's
great.
good.
Can we do it again? What was the number I needed?
11.
I got a 13.
All right. You didn't like being bitten by a centipede, but at least somehow, like they didn't inject you with poison. Speaking of getting injected with poison, I have 1 centipede left. It is scuttling in the direction of Nis, local business sorcerer, and I have rolled a 20, math 20, to hit Nis.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
4 bite damage, and give me a Constitution saving throw to see if you take poison damage.
20.
You are fine. Well, except for getting bitten by giant centipedes.
Yeah.
All right. Paulie, you're next. Cueris, get ready.
All right. I am going to I have a move action first, right?
Sure.
I can kind of do. Everyone's kind of in the way for that.
I would don't hold back. Says me.
No, I was gonna do a big spell, but then it like kind of affects everyone. I think we're a little all too close for it, and I don't want to hurt everybody
Emotionally.
before we get into the mine. Maybe I'll do it later. But for now, I'm going to cast Magic Stone, which is actually a bonus action, and then so I can actually throw the stones after I cast Magic Stone onto them, and I rolled a 17 plus 3 to hit with my Magic Stone.
Yeah, which of the many centipedes do you want to throw a magic stone at?
I'm going to go for the one right behind Lone Walker. I ask him to...
The injured one or
the one
uninjured one?
The uninjured one.
Uninjured one. All right. Well, you definitely
and I yelled,
hit
"Get
with your
down!"
whatever number you said that was very high.
I have 17 plus 3.
Yeah, math 20. So plonk with a magic stone. Tell me about damage for magic stones.
It's a 1d6 plus 1, and that's only a 2.
You badly wound that centipede.
I mean, it is a centipede. So.
Yeah, a giant centipede.
That's all I got.
All right. Cueris, many centipedes around you. You've got several centipede bite marks in your leg, but you're not full of poison yet.
Well, let's start with this. I'm going to stab one of the disco centipedes. Let's say the purple one.
All right. Remember that you have an advantage because it's a disco centipede.
Disco. And I rolled pretty good there. 19.
Yep.
And my rapier does, max damage, 11 damage.
You skewer that centipede. It is dead.
Next, I'm going to cast around the group and see if any of the folks, especially perhaps Lone Walker, are in need of any healing.
I think Lone Walker might be the only person to have taken damage beyond the 10 hit points you've already given
I took
out.
1, but
Okay.
yeah. You took a few. How you doing?
Are you asking me that?
How you doing?
Okay.
How you doing?
Hi. I could use some help, but also I could also... wait, does Paladins lay on hand, they're able to use that on themselves or no?
Yes,
They are.
Okay, so I could also just do it myself.
Up to you.
But
I got a healing word if you want one.
All right, I would love to hear, or
Why
rather,
don't you?
I would love to hear your healing word.
You're doing great. Keep it up. 6 points worth of healing word.
Nice.
We love to hear it.
We love to heal it.
All right, thank you.
I am done.
Hermione, followed by Nis.
All right. I'm going to pull out my short sword and attack this one that is right above me. I rolled a 16.
That hits.
Fantastic. D6 plus 4. I got a 1. Plus 4 is 5.
You murder another centipede.
Hooray! Let's go for this one with the whip.
Mm-hmm.
Whip it good. 16.
You attack another centipede. How much whip damage does whip do?
4d4.
4d4?
No, sorry. 24.
That's crazy OP.
1d4.
I rolled a 3.
3 total? Sorry. Or 3 plus something?
Plus 4 is
Many.
7.
All right, you lash at that. You lash out with a whip and kill another centipede. Hermione is murdering centipedes left and right.
Ha-ha!
Tony, a quick error that I made. When I got hit, I did not make a concentration saving throw for the fairy fire, which I now did, and unfortunately I failed. Oof. It would not have affected, I believe, my attack because I rolled a 16 on the lower of my advantages, which still would have hit.
So they're no longer disco centipedes.
That last guy is no longer disco. My apologies.
All right. Thank you, Dan. Nis, followed by Lone Walker.
All right. Well, Nis is going to do something that if anybody's paying attention, they might be surprised by, which is Nis is going to give it right back to that centipede by using her hungry jaws, and she's going to snap at the centipede with her lizard bite.
Oh, no.
That is a 15 to hit.
You take a chunk out of that centipede.
All right. That's only 1 damage, unfortunately.
That centipede is very badly hurt.
Okay, and then that was my bonus action.
Yeah,
the Hungry Jaws. So now, zip zop. That first centipede that I just bit is now going to get zapped with a magic missile for 3 damage.
It is dead.
Former disco centipede behind it takes 4 damage.
Also dead.
Huzzah!
And let's say one of the ones that just bit Lone Walker gets the 3rd magic missile force of 4 damage.
All right. Nis just killed 3 centipedes. I think I've only got 2 centipedes left, and one of them is already injured.
And one's little Anthony. No, I'm kidding.
And one's little Anthony. All setness?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, a bit. I cast a
you
spell.
You spelled. You've
Look,
done
I'm
everything.
You partied.
Well done.
Lone Walker followed by little Anthony.
All right. Lone Walker is going to, since both of his hammers have gone.
Yeah, what do you do now?
If I've got multiple weapons, is it possible for me to do I need to spend a turn taking out the weapon? How does that work? Because basically he has the two hammers and he has a war hammer. So the light hammers are for throwing as ranged weapons, and then his melee weapon is a war hammer.
Drawing a weapon does not take an action.
All right, excellent. Then he equips his war
It's a
hammer.
free action.
And
The one thing they don't let you do is swapping weapons. Is
in the middle.
Is the
that
middle.
makes sense.
And then people get weird where it's like, I can drop a weapon and take out a weapon, but basically to put away a weapon and take out another weapon are separate things. So like,
Got it.
but let me tell you, if your thing is hammers and then I throw them and then I take something else out, you're fine.
Yeah, that
if
makes
you wanted
sense.
to put a hammer away, that's how they get you.
That's how they get you. It makes sense. All right, I rolled a 19 to hit. I'm pretty sure that hits.
What is your thing that you take out once you've thrown hammers?
Oh, so those hammers got thrown away, and then immediately Lone Walker reached behind his back and grabbed his huge ass. Oh, am I allowed to say that? His huge butt.
Really?
War hammer.
Oh.
And so now,
so you throw away two moderately sized hammers, and the answer is third hammer
War
that's
hammer.
much bigger.
much bigger. Yeah,
That's not a hammer.
Consistency.
This is a hammer.
Who is he playing this game with himself? All right.
So I rolled a 19 to hit.
All right. I'll just point out that your little hammers murdered centipedes in one hit. So feel free to roll damage on this giant hammer that's unnecessary.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that 1d10 plus 3 bludgeoning damage. Is
there's just
Especially an injured
one.
Already injured.
There is a thin centipede paste where your hammer strikes.
Awesome.
That's a delicacy in some places, by the way.
Lone Walker, do you have any actions left you want to use, or are you done?
I don't think there's anything else I want to do right now, so I'm gonna chill.
All right. Little Anthony, technically still here.
All right, he's gonna squiggle on over to this other centipede, and he's going to use he has the same actions in his beast form as he has, so he's going to attack it melee style with whatever, I don't know, fiercities that this.
They have pincers. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's gonna pinch him right back because he was upset that he didn't follow him for a sexy dance. And that is a 16.
That'll hit.
To
Roll
hit
damage.
All right. So I'm always confused with the beasts. The 5 outside of the parentheses, I ignore that and just do the 1d4 plus 3.
That's the average, basically. If you didn't feel like rolling, it gives you the average as like an efficiency thing.
I got a 5.
Little Anthony murders the final centipede.
Deserved.
Hooray!
Please, little Antipede murders.
Sorry, little
the
Antipede.
That's right.
Yeah.
Murders the final centipede. It's now just you standing on a rocky mountainside. The wind is quiet, and there are no centipedes anymore, except for the one that is your friend. Sorry, your fiend.
Yeah.
I don't know if you need to camp here and take a short rest, or just continuing heading up the mountain in search of vermelon.
How are people doing on health?
I feel very good about continuing if everyone else is doing
I'm
okay.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing fine.
Yeah, just
All
fine.
right.
Let's go.
Rock on.
All right.
It's very rocky here, so
and
I thought it was a joke.
you head up the mountain passes further into the wilderness. You see Marin kind of way in the distance in the foothills now. You're trying to follow this handwritten map that was in the back of the book that you had copied, and it's not easy. I think I'm going to look for some checks from people, be it survival to cross the rocky terrain, or perhaps some intelligence-based checks to make sense of the map and try not to get lost. But I think you're going to need to do some checks to get from here to Vermelon.
Oh, Tony, I would like to just mention something. So Ashguri, or Lone Walker's background is a wanderer. Says you have an excellent memory for maps and geography, and you can always recall the general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features around you. In addition, you can find food and fresh water for yourself and up to 5 other people each day, provided that the land offers berries, small game, water, and so forth. So in terms of sort of exhaustion and food and stuff,
I think you would have advantage on anything, anything about this situation here, navigating the countryside, finding the missing town that you're looking for. It seems like this is like your bag, right?
And for survival,
I'll say Nis, likewise, having grown up in the bog and having the hunter's lore proficiency, so proficiency at nature and survival is also probably helpful in this situation.
Kiowaris, you're a pirate. How does that help you on a mountainside?
Arr! If you be looking out over the mountainside, which is basically like a rock.
Was he always a pirate?
No. At least
yeah,
not.
no, that is literally been his background.
Background,
the entire
yes.
time.
Vocally, no.
Oh no, that was new.
He's
well,
letting
not
his
great at
accent
that,
slip,
but
that's
I
all.
am pretty good at nature because I'm a bard and I'm well versed in many different skills.
All right.
I'm happy to make a nature check.
we've
to,
also got a
help us.
druid.
So
I have actually Tony, I have a mold earth cantrip, which can allow me to, if a ground is rough terrain, I can make it not rough terrain.
Oh wow! So you just you get to there's a steep mountain slope ahead of you, and you just look at that, and it's stairs now. Perfectly.
It's a golf.
That's
It's
so
a golf
cool.
course.
Basically,
Yeah.
yeah, and it lasts for an hour, so I can kind of do that for everybody,
All right.
right?
Yeah, so I will tell you. I think I would like survival checks from everybody. It sounds like Lone Walker, you have advantage on those. Nis, did you have advantage on those? And Polly,
I'm
will
proficient. I don't have advantage.
Okay, and then Polly will say that you are giving yourself advantage on that survival check by making your path more efficient for your little legs.
Lone Walker did not do very well, despite the proficiency.
Remember proficiency?
That would be
Remember you have
7.
advantage, so you roll twice and take the higher.
Oh, I also did that, and I still got a 7 on my survival check.
Nis
Oh,
rolled.
good.
I rolled badly. Nis got a 5.
This is what we get for bragging, Jason,
I know.
about our nature.
I got
I
a
know.
12, and Kieris is striding over by comparison.
Mountains ain't the
Let
bog.
me show
people.
you how it's
mountains
done.
it's so dry here.
It's
Nis.
not the bog.
Yeah.
And
Hermione.
I got a 9.
All right, Polly.
18?
18.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Polly-
Ooh, I was worried though. 12 was
Polly,
gonna be
with the shortest of legs, is fine. Everybody
Low
else,
center of gravity.
I mean, I also can cast spells, so
Yeah. Everybody else, I'm gonna say that you have a level of exhaustion, which is not great.
What does that mean?
At level 1 of exhaustion, you have disadvantage on ability checks. So basically, you are tired, and your ability to focus is not great. I will tell you, it can get worse. Second level of exhaustion, speed halved. Third level of exhaustion, disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throw. Fourth level of exhaustion, your hit points get halved. I don't know where it goes from there. I assume it goes up.
You die.
No,
Speed reduced to 0, and then death.
Yeah, I was eventually death. I'm just not sure how many steps there are to death. I don't think I've ever
Sixth
seen
level of exhaustion is death.
Yeah, that's really
six
exhausting.
steps to death, which is also my death metal band.
Yeah, I don't think I've been with a group that's gone past level 3. So you're tired.
I will
You're
not go to the next level.
You're dirty. You're sweaty. It is late afternoon on the second or third day heading up the mountains. I guess I should specify third day. That would be a weird thing to be ambiguous about. When you come up through the mountain pass and into a large clearing that sure looks like it could be the town of Vermelon, or what remains of it. I've put your tokens on the kind of southern corner of a southern side of Vermelon as you kind of come down a little pass into this big mountaintop village here. It is quiet, just the right amount of quiet.
Too quiet.
Plants and wildlife have overtaken most of the crumbling houses and structures here in Vermelon. You see vines climbing up rotting walls, birds and other creatures nesting in exposed rafters, even a few gnarled trees protruding from the fallen roofs of a few buildings. The sky is overcast, adding an air of oppression to the scene, seeming to envelop the village. It's a little dreary and not great up here on this mountaintop where you find yourself here. So I put your tokens at the southern part. You can see that there's a variety of structures to Vermelon. Some of them are kind of in various states of decay. I would say it's late afternoon / early evening. So it may be important to think about where are you going to camp for the night if you're going to find a place to stay in Vermelon. There are unlikely to be any taverns operating.
Are we? Do we become less exhausted when we rest?
Take a long rest.
After a long rest, you would be less exhausted, yes.
Nice.
But you may, I don't know when you want to decide that that's safe to do.
But this is the same. This is the same day as the centipede attack.
Yes.
Yep.
I roll for perception, just doing a general look around. But I don't even want to say what I rolled because it doesn't matter.
All right,
so
you're tired.
else wants to look around.
Remember, you have disadvantage for perception because you're
Oh,
exhausted.
that's right.
But it didn't matter.
I got a 19 perception check.
Sorry, Tiff, what was the number? Something teen.
19.
19. You are looking around. Perhaps possibly for any kind of...
What I want to perceive is I want to find like the best house to possibly camp in.
All right, you are looking around, and there's. It looks like Vermelon is mainly houses. It was not a kind of bustling commerce area, and that it's this little mining town up in the mountains, right? So there's a few kind of shops. There's a blacksmith shop. There's a stonemason shop. Everything else seems to be houses, but they look in pretty bad shape. So looking around, Paulie, you notice on the far side of town, kind of across the village from you, the largest structure in Vermelon also looks possibly the most intact. It looks like there's a big house on the north side of Vermelon, and probably just based on the way little villages work, probably that is the you could imagine that might have been the mayor's house. That's usually who gets the biggest house in these little towns.
Nis points out we have 2 jobs to do here too. One is to look for the necklace in the hollow of the big tree, and the other is to put the flowers on the grave.
Well, that big tree right ahead of us seems like a likely candidate.
Yeah, maybe we
I
should
like
check that
that.
out.
We could pass it on
All
the
right.
way to the house.
So I will tell you, Vermelon, very small town. I don't think anything in Vermelon is more than a 5-minute walk from anything else in Vermelon. So you just kind of head down the main, maybe it was a street or path at some point. It's all overgrown with weeds and dirt and rubble. There is a large, kind of sad-looking tree in the middle of Vermelon. The tree is bare. It stands on the lawn, kind of in front of the mayor's mansion, at least big house. I don't think probably anybody else has a multi-story house. The mayor's house is 2 stories, so mansion. And it doesn't look like this tree is doing great. Let's be honest. It's all bare and gnarled and sad looking.
Can I make a nature roll on that G?
Sure, roll nature on this tree.
Disadvantage, stupid exhaustion. Very tired. Tired of trees. That is even with disadvantage, a 16.
This is a unwell tree. It seems like probably,
Any idea what would cause? Is it a sickness or is it just sort of just general?
Probably just old age / neglect. It probably would have needed, the terrain
Some
is
pruning.
Yeah, the terrain
It's
is
clogged with
rocky, and
necklaces.
probably it would have benefited from being, actively watered. So possibly just neglect.
I'm going to roll investigation to see if we can find the little thingy.
All right, you know what you're looking for and where you're looking for, so you would have advantage that crosses out your exhaustion. So roll with neither advantage nor disadvantage.
Okay, 14.
All right, you are feeling around on the tree and you find basically an empty hollow. It's about 6 feet up, but you're a centaur, so that's not too hard for you. And it's filled with dead leaves, empty nutshells, and inside though there's something feels kind of metallic. You pull out a thumb-sized little platinum oval-shaped pendant on a tiny thin chain.
I will pocket it.
All right. It's probably worth about 20 gold pieces. It looks like it had something written on it that you didn't look at.
Do you want to look at it?
Right in the
Look at
pocket.
it. It says made you look.
Okay, fine. Pull it back out and look at it.
It says, for Lorna, forever.
Inaccurate.
Cueris will begin composing a romantic ballad.
Let's go to the graveyard.
The graveyard is kind of in the northwest corner of the town. I will also mention, as you kind of head that way, passing through dilapidated buildings, not through, but by them, there looks like there's something kind of here on the road leading out of town by the graveyard. It looks like there's like an abandoned wagon or something, but you said you were heading to the graveyard, so you head to the graveyard.
Tony,
come back. We come
sorry, I think Lone Walker would be too curious and would stop at the deal.
Polly's
You've
with
split
Lone
the
Walker
party.
also wants
Okay.
to check it out.
Polly and Lone Walker, you're, again, well within shouting distance of each other. It looks like there's an abandoned wagon, like a merchant's cart here. And as you're looking around, you kind of come around the front of it. You approach from the back. There appears to be, there's really no nice way to say this, horse remains in front of the cart, as if a horse pulling the cart had died here.
Don't show
quite some
this to
time ago.
Hermione. She'll get very upset. I push some leaves
Yeah.
over the remains.
The cart is still it looks like it's full of crates and barrels, though it looks like perhaps they've been damaged
Sourced
or
from Crate and Barrel.
ransacked or something. We'll come back
good.
to you in a second. Meanwhile, over in the graveyard, there's a crooked wrought iron archway at the entrance. It is extremely overgrown, much like the rest of the village. The first couple rows of the graveyard are headstones, some of them kind of sitting at odd angles. Some of them have fallen over completely from neglect. Toward the back of the graveyard, there are cairns, piles of stones, possibly as some kind of improvised placeholder where graves weren't available. Who's there? Nis, Cueris, and Hermione are in the vicinity of the graveyard.
Roll investigation to look for Lorna.
Lorna.
All right.
Sadly, still with disadvantage, I presume.
Can I help? Maybe I'll help.
Yeah, you
No,
help, which
no.
will cancel
All
out
right,
the disadvantage.
cancel it out. Love it. Let's do it.
We're a
out.
team.
Oh, that was pretty good. Thanks to Nissa's help, we teamed up and got to 25.
Nice.
Wow.
investigations.
All right, you spread out and do a grid search of the graveyard. You find Lorna does have a headstone. There is a headstone. It's a little bit at a tilt from the ground settling, and you clear off the kind of moss that's grown over it, and it says, Lorna Grosvenor, beloved to Lucas, forever my heart.
We'll leave the lilies right there.
As you leave, who's putting the lilies on the gravestone?
I was going
Question
to, I guess,
just
because
a
I bought
question
them.
I'm at.
Boy,
Just
I was
a
really.
question I'm asking.
I was about to say, like, I'm really looking forward to that Chivo popping up when it's like, "Gee, quest completed." Just as I reach down.
QRs, you're leaving them on the grave.
Yeah. that was
Okay.
me.
There's like a gentle breeze blows through the graveyard, and it's almost like you hear kind of like a soft, contented sigh.
That was unexpectedly kind of nice.
Okay. Over at the merchant's cart, Lone Walker and Polly are poking around. The cart looks very abandoned. There was like a tarp half covering a bunch of barrels, and barrels and crates. People, no expense was spared. What would you like to do as you're looking at this cart and
I think
what's left of a horse?
Lone Walker would say, I am afraid my eyes are very tired. Perhaps, Polly, it would be best if you investigated this cart a little bit closer, as I think you will not have to roll a disadvantage.
Got it, boss. 18. Wait, what am I rolling? Perception?
Perception,
Yeah,
yeah.
perception probably.
Plus
then you'll tell me
one.
what you wanna
19. I look in the cart with
All
a
right.
19.
You climb up on the cart and start poking around. You pull the tarp all the way back.
Very
There are-
violently. I want to be like a whoosh.
Yeah, whoosh.
Thank you.
There's boxes and crates and barrels and trunks. It looks like a lot of the crates and barrels are damaged, and it looks specifically even like maybe some kind of like wild animal has like been at them because they're like chewed or gnawed, or something has kind of broken them open. Not something that didn't use tools or probably hands. But there is some stuff left behind. There's a couple barrels that are still intact. You pop open the seal and they have salted dried meats that are probably edible, but probably, certainly not the freshest. You find some a crate with bolts of fabric. You find some casks of wine that have, I guess, only gotten better. And you even poke around. You find there's kind of a compartment under the seat at the front of the wagon where the person who owned the wagon would sit. And in that, there's a small sack of money. There's a pouch containing 15 gold pieces, and then like a ledger that contains a list of it lines up with the kinds of things in the cart, various things that they've been buying and selling.
Cool. Okay, I'm gonna take the 15 gold.
Yeah, I don't know if you want the fabric and the wine and the other stuff. I can tell you how much it's worth. It's just probably a little cumbersome to carry.
Lone Walker has no interest in that. No.
Yeah.
I take the 15 gold and I'm gonna take the 15 gold.
All right.
And can I take some of the wine?
Yeah, why don't you? Well, it's in a cask.
Are you going to store it in your mouth?
If you open the wine,
small
open
barrel.
the cask, then it's going to ruin it.
Yeah, you open the cask and drink the whole thing. I don't know how wine works.
I'm gonna I'm gonna take the ledger. I'm gonna take the ledger and the money.
Yep.
And I'll leave everything
And
else.
there's also, I should mention, a dead horse that you probably don't want.
Cover up.
That seems like it died, pulling this wagon, or at least, attached to the wagon.
I cover up the dead horse with some leaves and stuff so Hermione doesn't get upset.
Sure. There's a convenient tarp that you just tore off a wagon.
Oh, yeah, there's all this fabric. So. I put the tarp over the horse. Yeah.
What did I roll to
There's
determine how they
definitely no
died?
dead horses over here.
You would roll horse medicine or...
animal handling?
Are you reanimating this horse?
I'm gonna say it's survival.
Okay. Let me turn to Paulie. Would you mind helping me try to determine how this horse dies? Basically, I'm asking you for help so I can just roll without disadvantage.
Yeah, I got you.
Thank you. All right, so I'm
trying to picture out Polly's help. Look at that boat over there, and that boat over there.
Whoa, it's definitely a horse.
Once I left a horse head in someone's bed. It was very upsetting.
Reference
to him.
I got a 14 on survival.
All right. I would say that the horse is so decayed.
So very dead.
That it is not possible to know how the horse died. The best you are able to do is conclude that this horse has been dead for probably a year.
Okay.
This is a long time for an animal to have just died and laid in the field here.
Got it. I think that's all I want to do here at the cart.
Okay. Would you like to regroup?
I would like to join up with the party. That's where Lone Walker's going to head.
We should find a spot to rest.
Yeah,
agreed.
That's what I was thinking. Whether we want to camp out or whether we want to check out the most intact building.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Can we find the building that has the least amount of damage done to it?
The big spooky mansion looks
outside of maybe a small building that has the least.
How about a small spooky house?
The mansion clearly looks the most intact. It's probably that may speak to just the nature of the materials used to construct it, in that it's primarily stone versus other more wood based buildings.
Tony, I'd like to glance over at the side of the village and see if I can find the juice bar.
There's not a juice bar?
Oh, I figured we're up to V6. If we get to V8.
Oh, dear God. So, Tony, on the map, there's V1, and then there's a house to the left of it, or a building to the left of it that does not look dilapidated roof-wise?
Yes. V1 is... just
blacksmith?
Place in the adventure.
Was that the blacksmith?
Yes.
I'm asking about
V1,
the one behind the blacksmith. This one.
I think that's just a house. It's just a house.
That might be a good place to rest.
Could be a place.
So if this affects anything, I have a second level spell called Spike Growth, which essentially sets a booby trap of 20 feet of spikes that any kind of assailant can't see, and if they go over it, they take damage.
I have to be honest, I'm more concerned about the horrible, disturbing nightmares when we go to sleep.
Yeah.
What if
I mean,
sing
maybe
you
we'll
a
stab the
lullaby?
nightmares.
I don't
I'm
know.
not sure.
Nis has just been chugging coffee all day. It's like, I will never sleep.
No, well, it's the exhaustion, you know.
I mean, I think we kind of have to sleep.
Yeah, we do
right?
have to sleep. We
Yeah,
really
we're
do.
gonna
Yeah.
sleep.
So
Maybe
a
in
reminder
half and
of
half.
the places that you haven't looked at yet. V1 is the Wand and Hammer a blacksmith shop, which is just down the street from I don't think it has a name, but the stonemason's workshop. V3 is the mayor's house. You've been to V4, which is the tree. You've been to V5, the graveyard. You've been to V6, the abandoned merchant's cart.
What is
also
on the east side of the village, Tony, if we were to wander?
it looks like it's clear that there's basically a path that you would probably assume from context clues leads to the mine, the platinum mine that Vermelon was built up around.
Are there
to the
any
east?
Are there any buildings on the east side of the village that look like they're in any
note?
better shape? Or of
No,
note?
not especially.
Okay.
I would say, although I'm exhausted, I feel like we should sweep these notable buildings before we go to sleep. Just as I think it is adventurers in a ghost town, you probably want to give at least a cursory inspection before going to sleep.
Yeah.
We should
would
all
say
stay
let's-
together though, in case we're not
Yeah.
like getting
Yeah, I
disappeared.
agree.
Maybe check the stonemason and blacksmith shops and see. Those seem like they're both probably good places to at least walk through and see what's up.
Yeah.
So to the stonemason's shop.
Do you want to split up to cover more ground?
Nope, we
Nope.
do not, Tony.
All right.
We want to stay together to
Micah.
cover the exact amount of ground we're going to
The
cover.
exact amount of ground. The front door of the stonemason's house is lying open. The door looks like it's actually off its frame several feet away. It is grass has already kind of grown up around it. Looking into the stonemason's shop, parts of the roof have kind of fallen away, and you can see the sky above. There is kind of rotting furniture, and you can see much of the stonemason shop is kind of a big workroom with blank headstones waiting to be engraved. There's probably at one point fancy stone sign that's now all overgrown that is engraved with the words Tyrus Frosthair, stonemason. Inquire at back.
I checked the back. No.
There's a workbench and a bunch more stone slabs in the back. There's no stonemason.
Okay.
Um,
Should we
it
check and
looks
see
like-
if the... Okay.
it looks like somebody just wandered away from this place decades ago. In that there's still lots of stuff here. There's tools on pegs. There's headstones waiting to be engraved. It even looks like there's a hammer and chisel sitting on top of a half completed headstone. Yeah.
Someone who's
Oh,
not
hey,
super tired should sort of perceive the
I think that's
Yeah.
opening. I think Polly
All
is
right.
the only
Polly's
person
the
that's
only
not
one.
dragging, that's dead on their feet.
I'm really getting tired of all this perceiving.
Yep.
12.
You look around. The tools are pretty rusted. You do see, if you needed a hammer and chisel, you could find some bad ones here.
I
There
pick
is a
up the hammer.
half-finished,
Can
tombstone that says, Adeline Green, may you all... Well, it's AWL, and then it doesn't...
I would like to help Polly perceive so that Polly can roll again and see if Polly gets a higher score than 12.
All right.
So he's Lone Walker's kind of looking around too.
Can I hand that hammer over to Lone Walker? Because I think he really
Yeah.
likes hammers.
It is, Lone Walker, the hammer, this is a crude workman's hammer. It's probably fine for craft work, but this is not.
He just
a
says
battle
thank you
hammer.
and like throws it behind himself.
Yeah, the weight is all wrong. This is not a hammer you would throw.
In fact, so I was going to say Lone Walker sort of puts the hammer in his gigantic hand and holds it where it should be balanced and sees it fall to the ground, just looks at it on the ground and then leaves it there.
Yeah.
But he says to Polly, "Thank you for considering me."
All right, so are we perceiving again?
Yeah, once more, please.
Okay. 15 plus 1, 16.
Like,
Yeah, that does not seem like there's anything of value here. It would be the walls are relatively intact if you were looking for somewhere to stay. You might get, depending on the weather, some rain on your heads. But safety is a relative concept when you're in a ghost town.
yeah.
Shall we
we-
look
Yeah.
around a little more, or do we want to stop and take our rest?
Should we check out the
I was
blacksmith?
gonna say,
I think
do
we
wanna
need to keep looking.
Compare the blacksmith shop and see if it's
Yeah.
any better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's just the next building over. There's a sign with a wand crossed with a blacksmith hammer. That sign is crookedly hanging just from one hook. And actually, as you kind of look at it, the other hook snaps and it falls into the dirt.
Ugh.
That's a terrible omen.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's fine.
I'm sure it's fine. There's a thick layer of dust covering the interior of this building.
Why are there
is a-
ducks here?
Oh my god.
I will learn to enunciate one of these days. The forge is probably completely ice cold, dormant in the far corner. Blacksmith's anvil, an empty quenching trough. That's blacksmith work terminology there. Beside it is empty. There are 2 workbenches with stools. Looks pretty picked over.
Is it structurally in any better shape than the stonemason, or any distinct?
Yeah, the ceiling, the roof is all roofing it up. So
So let's
This roof is
perceive
really
this place.
roofing it up.
yeah, it's really holding the room together.
really holding the roof together. I'm happy to roll perception if somebody wants to help me, and we can cancel out some disadvantage.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
I'm glad to help.
All right.
Good job. Good job.
We
You
all
can do it. Go, Qeris.
That's a 19.
All right, you are poking around, and you find on the side of the workbench there is like you knock on it, Qeris, and it gives you that hollow sound, and you're like knocking and feeling around, and you've discovered that there is a secret compartment built in to the side of the workbench. And inside it looks like somebody, probably the owners of the Wand and Hammer Blacksmith, stash maybe their valuables before they left for Melon or disappeared or whatever. So there is a long list of things I'm going to read to you right now. There is a steel shield. Why is that? Steel shield. Steel shield with platinum filigree in the shapes of winding serpents. Street value 50 gold pieces.
Wow.
2 matching short swords with platinum filigree on the hilt. Also serpent motifs. 25 gold pieces each, so you're up to 100 gold pieces. And a stack of 10 iron bars, each weighing 10 pounds and worth a gold piece each.
Well, we can leave the iron, but I think we should take the swords and the shield.
All right. They are kind of, they are functional, but clearly for fancy people. So that's 100 gold pieces in fancy, easily resold fancy equipment.
Love it.
Fabulous.
Otherwise, perception-wise, did I find any other terrible structural flaws?
Nope.
I think this would be a
went
great
looking
place.
for code violations and you found money. You're welcome.
What a great outcome. I think this would be a great place to hole up. It seems like is there only one entrance?
There's one entrance, and the front door is on the hinges, way better than the stonemason shop. Seems like there's probably even
Not to recommend it.
Yeah, there's furniture that you could pile in front of the door too. Yeah,
Cool.
sturdy.
All right, I think this is if we're gonna take a long rest, this is the place to do it.
Yeah.
We don't have to take one, but if we're gonna take one, we should do it here.
I think we should.
Yeah.
All right.
But I think we should only do half of us at a time.
We can set a watch.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
But I think it needs to be more than one person awake, since everybody, the people that disappeared were all individuals. So if there's 2,
that's good
they'll
thinking.
cancel each other out.
Good thinking.
Double watch. Now I will tell
Yes.
you might need to think about it because mathematically that might.
Well,
guess
little
that gets
Anthony, does a fiend count as a escaping viewer, like eyeballs watching?
Yeah, because
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
exhausted.
What's
like
the word
everyone
you were
else.
going for?
It's unclear how this.
Can a fiend keep watch?
Yeah. Who watches the watch fiend?
I'm happy to stay awake because I'm not exhausted.
You will be the next day if you don't sleep.
Oh, right.
Well,
Unless
so
you're-
basically the
Unless
the long
none
and
of you
short
are
of it-
magic and doesn't require sleep, right?
I think
None
the
of you
long
are-
and short of it is that we need 2 people awake at any time, and if we can use Anthony, then that's 2 people who can be awake and cover 2 hours basically of watch, and
Right.
still everybody will get a full night's sleep.
I think you figure out that it takes you a lot longer to collectively get 8 hours of sleep is what it takes. Ah, yes, the fantasy world where you get 8 hours of sleep and are current
Just by saying it.
completely restored. No one has trouble falling asleep, even in the nightmare village where everyone dies.
Just to be clear, Tony, you only have to sleep for 6 hours. You just have to spend the other 2 hours doing something low key.
Is that low key, like playing Dungeons and Dragons or listening to a podcast?
Probably
Doom
like
scrolling.
more like listening to a podcast.
Doom
Doom scrolling is a level of exhaustion, Jason.
Bats.
right.
Chain rattle.
All right. Let us say that each of you gets your full night's sleep before you start thinking about recovering from things on your character sheet. Let me tell you that your sleep is not great. Each of you has horrible, oppressive dreams of being trapped in some kind of collapsing tunnel and suffocating to death beneath rock and rubble. You have the desire to scream yourself awake, and yet you are unable to. Give me a DC 13 Wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
You should not have built the city on rock and roll.
Oh my god.
Is this with a
I
disadvantage
saved,
still?
yay.
Saving throw, you do not have disadvantage on saving throws, just on
great.
skill checks.
Fantastic.
17.
I got 22.
I got an 11.
Oh no.
I got
Do
a
we
9.
for saving throws? We have the modifiers, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I got an 11.
All right, here is the bad news. On a failed save, you gain 1 level of exhaustion.
Oh no.
Now, I think that means if you succeeded, you get a full night's sleep and you wake up feeling fine and with
But if
no
we
levels
didn't,
of
we're at
exhaustion.
2 levels?
Yay.
If you didn't, you're at 2 levels.
Yeah,
So wait, what was
damn
the save
right.
number?
Not Polly. Polly's at one.
Polly's
level
at
1.
1.
What
Well,
was
is
the
it
save? What was
What
the
was
save
the
number?
DC on this?
13.
Oh. Yikes.
So
Big ol' yikes.
Who succeeded and who failed, and you may want to put it in the chat so you have that information for next time.
I
Note it,
failed.
you can note it on your character sheet as well.
Yeah.
There is a
Oh,
place to
how-
track levels of exhaustion.
Where's?
If you,
so-
conditions, which is just below your hit points.
Yep.
If you
Yep.
tap on that, it'll give you a whole list
Ah,
of conditions, and exhaustion is at the
sweet.
bottom.
And then you can choose which level of exhaustion you are.
Fantastic, because I'm at level 2.
Oh, I should probably roll for little Anthony too, right?
Yeah. He's a horrible monster. Can he have nightmares? Does he just call them mares?
Yeah. Wait, let's see
What?
if he's resistant to anything.
Think about that a little longer, Tony.
No.
And,
no, don't think
Don't
about
do
it
it.
at all.
Don't think about it.
And
Yeah, he also fails.
me and Micah, we're okay. We had
We're
a good
back
night's
to
sleep.
normal.
Fine. Yeah, you wake up feeling, you had horrible nightmares and are, emotionally maybe not great, but physically fine. So.
Yep.
So,
All right.
what do we change it? We are exhausted level
You're
1.
exhausted.
Okay.
Yes,
You're
you are
level
level
1.
1. Other people, 2 levels of exhaustion. Other people, 0 levels of exhaustion. And so you wake up the next day ready to head out, I assume, possibly to investigate the mayor's house, possibly to investigate the site of the mine, but, perhaps already filled with a deep and creeping sense of darkness that pervades your ever being. Will our adventurers overcome this exhaustion and find out what has happened to this town? Will they discover what mysteries await them? Or will they just get real tired and fight with each other the whole time? For answers to questions such as these, tune in next time to Total Party Kill.